Welcome back to more For Honor Duels. We are jumping straight into the action, this time from the perspective of the Shinobi once again, and our opponent is a Nobushi once again. This is one of my favorite matchups in the game. It is very exciting to watch because both of these characters have very visually pleasing moves. So let's see if the dirty foot from the Nobushi is going to be strong enough to deal with the dirty foot from the Shinobi. Now, I believe I mentioned last time that this is a very scary matchup for the Shinobi because the Nobushi deals such an incredible amount of damage, and the Shinobi has the smallest health pool in the game, already getting hit by a dashing attack, followed by 3 successful light attacks. We are in the danger zone. The next bit of damage, even if it's a chip, is going to put us in the ground. We tried to throw out a kick there, so maybe she wouldn't end with a perfect score, but we're gonna bleed out mid-animation and just lose all momentum and plop to the floor. That is an embarrassing way to start off, but maybe we can pull this one back. But that right there is the perfect example of how an increased amount of chip damage can really change the dynamic of For Honor. And we're starting off pretty strong. Tried to use a ranged guard break there, but her light attack is going to go straight through it, and we're going to take more punishment from that. The Way of the Shark passive is currently active, but as the bleed wears off, she's no longer getting bonus damage on us. Throwing out the kick, her hidden stance was a little bit mistimed, but unfortunately, I did not have enough stamina to follow through with any additional attacks. Throwing out a ranged guard break as soon as my stamina returns, but a quick sidestep followed by 3 sidewinders and then a Cobra Strike and another light attack is going to put me in the grave. That was a very high intensity assault, and that is something that can really overwhelm the Shinobi because of his extremely short guard stance. He has the reflex guard, which means when he puts it up, it doesn't stay up, but the downside for his is that it's the shortest in the game, so you've got to be really attentive to what's going on at every moment of the battle. Round number 3, we're going into this with a pretty big deficit, starting off with a kick, being very aggressive. She dodged out of the way of the backflip, trying to guard break, but we recovered in time to throw out 2 light attacks, and we landed a successful deflect and followed that up with a kick to run her out of stamina, double dashing forward, doing a sort of fake mix-up and punishing her for falling for a trick that doesn't necessarily work. So we're coming back into this. The score is now 1-2, but we've got an uphill battle, as I like to say, if we're going to walk away with the victory. But, you know, this is looking a bit more competitive than it was in the first 2 rounds, so let's see if we can continue the pressure. We were going for that sliding attack there so we could knock her down and get some free damage, but we saw the heavy attack coming out, so we canceled out and blocked instead, landing another deflect and following up with a guaranteed light attack for a bit of damage. And now the Nobushi has run out of stamina, so we are at an advantage. We could have turned the pressure on significantly more than we did, but we opted for a bit of a safe play, landing a successful parry, following that up with a heavy attack and the guaranteed light, pushing her into the fire with the attacks and then guard breaking, sending her right back in for a little bit of flame broiling. So now we've got a nice, well done Nobushi on our hands, though it might be a little fishy. I'm not entirely sure how good that would taste. But bad jokes aside, we are moving into the 5th and final round, so we're going to have to pull out all the stops. This Nobushi player is very skilled, and they know how to turn on the pressure, and that is definitely a weakness for us as the Shinobi. We're already off to a very horrible start, getting tagged with 2 light attacks and blocking the remaining. We're trying to take a safer approach instead of going for deflects, landing a guard break into a heavy, feinting a second heavy, and then landing 2 successful light attacks. Another hidden stance came out there, but the timing was a little bit off, so that got us some damage in. Unfortunately, we keep going for those ranged guard breaks, and they are not working for us. We landed a successful deflect. We are in our last segment of health, but that light attack right at the end was just out of range. That would have given us the victory. Or maybe we could have even just let her bleed out, but we got a little bit greedy trying to be fancy, and we got clipped with the Nobushi zone attack, which does an insane amount of damage, and that's going to put us in the ground. But you know what, folks? It's not over yet. We are going up against the same Nobushi, trying to redeem ourselves. Hopefully, we can do a little bit better this time around and walk away with a victory, because winning feels good. You know, winning, it might not be everything, but I'll be damned if it doesn't feel real good to get a victory. So let's see if we can make it happen this time. We're taking a conservative approach to things, trying to keep our distance. The ranged attack going to get easily dodged by the Nobushi. We threw out that kick. She dodged and tried to guard break, but we followed up with a heavy attack, which went through. A successful deflect, going to do some nice bleeding damage. Landed another deflect there, but the Shinobi's deflect does cost stamina, so that's going to put us out. But the Nobushi opting to stay back and let her stamina come back as well, and that may be a detrimental mistake for her. We've tapped her out again by landing a successful kick followed by a backflip, landing a ranged guard break as she goes for a heavy attack, and then we're going to put her out. So that was a pretty big misplay. The Nobushi doesn't have the pressure of the Lawbringer or the Warden when somebody goes out of stamina, but the least you can do is try and get somebody scared by throwing in some guard breaks, throwing out some light attacks. But who am I kidding? I'm happy that we walked away with the first round victory. So we've got a little bit of momentum to go on here. Let's see if we can continue that through round number 2. Starting off with that super sprint, successfully getting the trip and then the follow-up light attack. So that's going to give us a little bit of an advantage, but that will quickly get stripped away by a heavy attack from the Nobushi. The Nobushi can kill the Shinobi with 3 successful heavy attacks, and that is a very scary thing to go up against. And those light attacks coming out, the second one going to get deflected, but we definitely got greedy there by going for a ranged guard break. That is one of the most dangerous things you can do as the Shinobi if you are standing close by your opponent, because if they tech out of it, they will yank your ass to the floor and hit you with a heavy attack. But you know, that's something that's interesting about the better balanced characters in For Honor, is that there is a lot of risk and reward. If you land a ranged guard break with the Shinobi, you deal a ridiculous amount of damage, and there are a number of other characters that have a similar risk reward with some of their strongest attacks. The Valkyrie is a good example of that, but let's not focus on the meta too much. Let's focus on the here and now. We're going for that kick to Nobushi, dodging out of the way too soon, putting herself in the corner there, but we're not going to get too much out of it. This isn't like Injustice 2 where you can corner combo the hell out of somebody, but you can kick people in the face like a freaking ninja. Going for that ranged guard break again, but we were out of stamina. That would have been a tremendous amount of damage if we had the resources. The guard break from the Nobushi gonna whiff, so we're gonna kick her in the face once again. It's unfortunate that those guard break kicks don't do any damage because they look so damn awesome, but at this point we have a tremendous advantage going for that kick and following up with a light attack, and then the zone attack gonna just tickle her on the cheek, but that's going to be enough to finish her off as she was on such a low amount of health. But things are going well this time. The score is currently 2-1, and we are in round number 4, so if we win this one, we win the whole thing, and that's what we want. Now, we've been a bit frivolous with our stamina spending over the course of these matches, but we've also been doing a good job of draining our opponent's stamina. So if we can keep that up with those kicks, we're going to be in a good spot. Trying to go for that backflip there, but unfortunately we're going to get caught with a guard break this time and take a top heavy, bringing us down to 50% of our health, and then getting clipped with some attacks, landing a successful parry to stop the momentum, going for 2 heavy attacks, wanted to get that sickle rain, but that is a little bit greedy, my friend, so we're going to have to back off. Going for a ranged attack, but immediately going to cancel it out because the Nobushi getting too close for comfort. She has landed a bleed on us, and look at that. 2 quick light attacks going to take her out. We were just about to die right there. We're going to do a quick spin, and then we're going to bleed out, writhing in pain. But that's a nice way to end. That was a pretty close one. But either way, we won, so it feels good. Thumbs up for me. On that note, we are going to wrap it up here by saying the name of the game is For Honor. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. If there are any particular characters that you would like to see duels of, feel free to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll just be playing a random assortment of characters, and I may possibly lean more heavily towards some of my favorites, like the Shinobi and maybe even the Kensei, and the Warden. He's starting to become one of my favorites. That shoulder bash, oh so satisfying. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.